you are and they don't care. Well, I've been there too, and it's not over for you, I swear.
Well, it's winter, and that means the days are getting shorter. It makes me so happy to walk into the garage every day at work and see the hard work over there that I put in. It's hard to believe it was a 2-year process, and it's finally ready. So good stuff. We're gonna keep grinding out here, and we're gonna have a good wheeling season next year. So another project I need to tackle on the Jeep is power management. And so I jacked the Rough Country MLC off of the other Jeep here. I'm really happy with this thing. I got it for 180 bucks, I think. Super simple to use, and it just works really well. So their mounting solution is kind of silly. It sits like on this plate that overhangs here. And not only is it annoying to run wires to there, but it's right over the heat and everything. So I'm gonna try and designate this half or this whole fender to wire management. And so originally I had my fuse box kind of hanging off the edge like this onto the fender-ish with some bolts through the bottom tray. And now we're gonna move it down into like here and hang it off the inside of the fender there. So I just went to the hardware store. We got some nice L brackets and some hardware, and I'm gonna try and mount that fuse box. These fuse boxes have like this lower tray here that comes off, and it clips into the actual like fuse mounts. So if you just unclip this lower tray, you mount that, and then your fuse box just slides right on top. So I'm gonna see what I can get done today. Okay, so that actually went pretty well. There she is. I actually kind of went with this downward incline, not by choice, but it gives me plenty of room to get access into there. And there we go. So that's nice and clean. I now have this whole upper fender area to mount our light controller. I'm gonna probably do something like this because the wires have to come in from underneath. It's gonna be a little tricky, but that'll be a project for another time. All right, so last night I was able to get our MLC mounted super nicely. It's really sturdy. I'm really happy about that. We'll be able to get the wires under here nice and neat. We'll be able to route them on the fender very nicely. And so the one thing I don't have off of this Jeep is the power cables for this thing. So there they are. And then the other thing we need to get off of here is the switches. These switches mount on the dash over there. They're actually really nice quality switches. I'm not too crazy about the location of them. I would love to do like the S-Pod style up here. So I might look at fiddling with trying to like maybe mount that upside down or something like that. But for now, I want to get these out of here so we can get that thing functional. And it's really nice that these just have a plug on them, so there's no individual wires to make a mess. And we have to get our A or B compressor out of here as well. This is a really nice adapter that S-Pod actually makes for running to a power control module for your compressor. And so yeah, it should just be a matter of plugging and playing things for now. Also last night I was able to get the rear locker hooked up, and then the front locker we're gonna have to add some length to. So I'm hoping to get to that tonight as well. And then once these lockers are in, this thing is good. It's really good. This thing, I have some plans for this thing, and I'm looking for parts for this thing. I need deals. You guys, if anybody has like extra builder's parts, I'm looking for joints. I really need some fresh fenders for it. These things are gross and black. I'm looking for some like EAG sheet metal fenders, or even like poison spider fenders, just something to clean this thing up a little bit. And then I have some really cool plans for this thing, but we have some bigger things to get to first, and then we have to make it through this hard economy is coming up. This is gonna get tricky around here soon, so I'm trying to keep this thing alive, and it has potential. So I'm gonna keep robbing my good parts off of it and keep just turning it into a even shittier box that it is already. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work. Alrighty, so we need to get the lockers wired up on this Jeep. We're just going to wire up the factory Rubicon lockers that are still in these axles. Super easy. You can get the wire harness off of any Mopar website, and it's just a power and a ground, and then the plug, and you just plug it right into the axles, bing, bang, boom. I'm gonna try and run these wires really inconspicuously so that nobody sees them. And what's gonna be tricky though, I just realized, is that now I moved the MLC onto the passenger side, as where before they were on the driver's side. So I might have to add some length to this wire. Let's see how it goes. All right. Here's our front locker wire. Very nicely heat shrinked. I think I'm gonna take these off and do the same deal because that looks super duper nice. Wires are running right here, so I'll be able to label all these wires as they come out. I actually have an old label right there that I need to redo, but this is how it's gonna be for now. I'm gonna do something different with the actual fuse box. Seems to be the ugly piece here, but you can hardly even notice the locker wire going across. So super happy with that. And then we just ran it down the front. All right, you're not gonna be able to see it. We just ran it down the upper link in there, and we should be all happy. It's zip tied all the way around on the factory harness. So now I'm going to go into the old Jeep and rob the switches out of there. I kind of forget how that whole thing works, but I know it's as easy as just plugging it in right there. So I've had some time in the past few days to get working on the actual switch mounting. And so right here is the header bar that goes on top of the windshield on the interior. And I've always thought it was so cool to have the switches like mounted up top. And so I literally just took the switch box and drilled some holes and threaded them, and it works really well. They're actually paving the street here, and they left it an absolute mess. Like, it's not just milled. It's a war zone. And so the other day I popped it up there, and I went for a drive and bombed down there, and it was no issue at all. So that gave me the green light to just leave it just like that. I do need to extend the harness to make it down and around to the panel. And that is where something really cool is gonna come in. The wiring harness from Rough Country is not long enough. And so the Jeep community being as awesome as it is, Graydon Kennard reach out to me from PCL Lighting Solutions, and they do just like custom wiring and stuff like that. Really cool. He made me this harness. Check out how clean that is too. He even like included a letter and like pinned it out, extra heat shrink in case I needed to take it apart. That is just super rad. I'm gonna run this sticker somewhere on the Jeep for sure. So this is just gonna make my life so much easier. On top of making me incredibly happy and just fulfilling my soul, we're gonna be able to run our switches up there tonight. And I'm gonna go ahead, pop the header back on there with all the clips. I did a test run, and it actually stays up there really well and doesn't like bobble around too much, which is perfect. So it's gonna be tricky now to hide these connectors up behind that piece of plastic, but we'll see what needs to be done. Wow, we killed it on the color match too. Yellow, brown, gray, black. Killed it. Oh! Oh, that's satisfying. Let's go. I just gotta pull this sheathing back up. Yes! Sweet! There we go. I apologize for it being so dark. Alright, sweet. There we go. I've always wanted this. And yes, the switches are upside down. That's a problem for another time. I'm probably just gonna live with it. I'd actually like to switch them out so they don't all just say Rough Country on them. But I don't know, pretty nice relocation. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tuck these wires back behind the plastic, and we're good to go with this project. And so there we have it. Switches mounted. They're actually pretty solid up there too, which is cool. Looking nice and slick. I'm so happy to use my tray instead of putting those switches there like this kit intends you to. So, dang. I'm so happy with how this whole install came out. You can't even notice the wires at all. And we have the 2 lockers hooked up in here already. So, okay, I'm not taking it. And that's going to do it for this video. Sorry about the abrupt ending, but in the next video, we will tackle cleaning up the fuel cell situation and relocating the evap system, and I'll catch you guys in that one. Peace.
Make the sound.